long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen. With the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force. Do not return to the temple. That time has passed. And our future is uncertain. We will each be challenged. Our trust, our faith, our friendships. But we must persevere. And in time, a new hope will emerge. May the Force be with you, always.
I've been basking in it for the last 30 minutes. My God. I feel like a seafront village after the Vikings have left.
So this has been a tumultuous now 3 days where, 2 days where we find out Kennedy's leaving. We get a list of her replacement ideas of who's going to replace her. Fandom Wire quotes discussing films Andrew Salazar, and he basically says the people who are going to replace her are exactly who you think they're going to be. And it's not Kevin Feige, definitely not J.J. Abrams, it's definitely not anybody from the list from THR, which was an extensive list. The two people listed were the only two serious candidates. And it looks like it's going to be a DC mashup with basically Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau taking over co-ownership of Lucasfilm, which says a ton. Okay, this is what the fans want. This is the best way to do it. Jon Favreau looks at Star Wars as his baby now. Okay. What's interesting is there's another story out there that I'm going to hit on this. I'm going to pound it into the ground, by the way. Out there about another person named that is not going to end up being the head of Lucasfilm. But there's a lot that's going to happen in the next few months as Kennedy she's already been eased out. Now they're going to make it official. But this is the team we've seen make The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, Kenobi, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, good shows. Okay, I don't care what you think. The black pills want you to hate everything. But let's talk about the other story. So Jeff Snyder, Dan Snyder, he was with Collider for a while. Has his own newsletter he put out there, and he got an interesting update about this from, it looks to be a Kennedy loyalist, who's basically saying Kennedy is acting like kingmaker, and she wants her second in command, Lin-Wen Brennan, to take over running Lucasfilm. Well, there's a problem here. The name, we've got Jeff Snyder, trying to act like he's got, inside scoop on the Ray movie. The Ray movie's not happening. He's been wrong about that from the beginning. And that's just one thing. A plethora of other things. Kennedy cannot name her own successor. Bob Iger is the only person at Disney who's allowed to be a kingmaker. And it has to be voted on by the Disney Board of Directors. They have to vote on a compensation package. They have to agree to this. And so by the bylaws of the Walt Disney Company, she's not allowed to name her successor. The fact that Snyder would allow himself to be dragged into this is absolutely breathtakingly shocking to me, yet it's really not. I mean, I don't really get why he would think being her lapdog when no one else in Hollywood would take her phone call on this would help him. When you read the entry that he posted, it's incoherent, rambling. It's like somebody lost their Thorazine. Here's Lin-Wen Brennan. The story ends up, she'll probably take over ILM. So she won't have any involvement with content, storytelling, world building, etc. I mean, fine, let her play with the toys. Okay, I don't care. Keep her away from the scripts, from the creative process, from casting, from everything. So if she goes to ILM, that's keeping her far away from what actually makes Star Wars, Indiana Jones, etc. work. Good storytelling, and then good casting, good direction, etc. Okay, but why would Kennedy do this? Because Lin-Wen Brennan has been this loyal little flying monkey for her for over a decade. So she owed her something. And also, Kennedy not only wanted to act like she was still relevant, but she also wanted to mess with the fans and to fuck up the message that she's gone, that she has no power. But let's talk about this further. Who has the power?
For 10 long weeks, the Star Wars company labored on the suburban London sound stages, bringing to life a film that had begun as an idea with George Lucas 3 years before.
Before I get into this, I want to remind you guys, do you guys remember during the Afghan War, when George W. Bush said, I'm the decider? Well, here's the decider, right here. Bob Iger. Iger is the only one who can say, after careful consideration, I pick so-and-so to head the studio. Kathleen Kennedy is not in the chain of command. All right, in this. He's the boss. He takes his decision, to the board of directors, and they vote on it. They vote, yes, this person can be the head. This is what they're going to be compensated with. This is their pay. That's what they do. And nowhere, and I'm talking to Jeff Snyder now, in the bylaws of Disney, or any other corporation for that matter, does an outgoing president of a subsidiary have the right to say anything about who replaces them. They can suggest, and I'm very sure that, Iger said, fine, Kathy, that's cute. And then ignored her, because that's exactly what he did. I want to caution you guys. These decisions were made a long time ago, as what we could see. Okay, let me explain something here. It wasn't just anybody leaking things to Matt Bellany and leaking things to people that would talk to Matt Bellany. It was Jon Favreau and Bob Iger doing that so they could get the jump on her. Let me explain. They were going to put this out there before Christmas. And because of the volatility, Iger got worried about the Disney shares, so he waited until now. He waited until Reimagine Tomorrow was canceled and all the rest of that stuff. Like I've said to people before, CEOs are not woke. They're politicians. They're not woke at all. The only people they care about is themselves. They're sociopaths. And that has to be considered here. Okay, so Iger backs off from Reimagine Tomorrow. Jeff Bezos backs off from the progressive left. He just did that today in an op-ed. And he now, the world is now looking at the progressive left for what it is. The money that you would earn from Star Wars done right, this franchise could print its own money if you did it right. Okay. The problem with Kennedy's vision was always boys aren't valuable. Now, she doesn't have sons, and I'm sure her husband's just a stepping stone for her. She's never really cared for men to begin with. All right. And she can't figure out how to be part of the club. That was her problem with running Lucasfilm, because all of the franchises are geared to boys, okay? And the weird girls that get attached to it. Let me explain something else. Women aren't romantic, okay? If you ever read a female-written romance novel, it's not romantic, it's just full of sex. That's not romantic. Romance is a Shakespearean sonnet. Romance is a John Keats poem. Okay. She doesn't understand that. So the whole idea that she could take over franchises that are geared towards male audiences, do the romance right, and do the lore right is absolutely absurd. Because she never learned anything from George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, Clint Eastwood, etc. And it's really quite staggering that someone who fancies herself as a great filmmaker didn't learn anything from great filmmakers. Now she's leaving, and she couldn't hit it off at the pass. She's tried desperately to get Lin-Wen Brennan's name out there as her replacement, and she's not. If anything, Brennan, from what Jeff Snyder put out there, is going to end up running ILM, which keeps her far away from the important stuff going on at Lucasfilm. Okay, she will listen to what Dave and John want, and then she will do what they asked her to. Here's the team again. We got John and Dave, George Consulting, as we've always wanted. George being in the mix. Okay, and that is the point. That is what is happening here. And, John's got 25, 30 years ahead of him to work on these things, and he can fix the Skywalker saga. He can give Han, Leia, and Luke the dignity and the honor they deserve. He can do a young Indiana Jones adventures in the 1920s. He can do all of these things, okay? Dave is the Padawan learner, the young Jedi, okay? This is who is going to be running Lucasfilm, and when Andrew Salazar of Discussing Film said it's exactly who you'd think it would be, that just made my heart dance with joy. This is where we go from numb to joyous. So get ready, guys, because we're at the beginning of a golden age for Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and maybe even Willow, okay? So I wanted to put this out there. I wanted to put the Lin-Manuel Brennan garbage to rest. And, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you around the galaxy.